Okay, so I'm sitting down to start reading our last section of Becoming the Woman of His Dreams. 7 qualities every man longs for. So those 7 qualities have been a woman that prays for him, a woman that respects him, a woman that adores him, a woman that initiates intimate friendship with him, a woman that safeguards her marriage, a woman that encourages him, and we're in our last section, a woman that sexually fulfills him. And so I'm going to read chapter 26. So just read chapter 26, and it's called the first chapter in his book, talking about intimacy. So in her survey, a woman that sexually fulfills him was the number 1 answer, but it was neck to neck with respect, which would have been my guess. I would have guessed respect was number 1 and sex was number 2. But I feel like what she says is right, that sexual intimacy is the glue that holds it all together. You can do all of the other ones right and be missing fulfilling him sexually and it not be worth all your effort. And I found this really interesting and so true. I just never stopped to think about this. A bad marriage never has a good sex life. But if you have a good sex life, you're probably in a good marriage. So she said that she asked the women to survey their husbands because she was starting this book, and she said, and they all were like, the answer's sex, that's all they need. And of course there's more to a man than just sex, as we've seen in this book. But I do agree that sex glues it all together. And then there's that little section with the doctor, Kevin Lehman, what he had to say about the sexually fulfilled man. You know, I'm not a man, so when I read that, I'm just like, I know that my husband is sexually fulfilled. And he doesn't jump with eagerness to do everything I need him to do. He's happy to help me. He will help me. He wants me to be happy, and he'll do anything that he knows will make me happy. But, you know, it doesn't mean that you'll have this robot that does everything on exactly when you want them to, exactly how you want them to. So maybe I'm reading too much into it, but I guess generally speaking, yes, my husband wants me to be happy. My husband will help me with anything I ask him to help me with. And I know that he's confident and secure because he is fulfilled. And I sent that to my husband. I was like, tell me how much you agree or disagree with this. Pick it apart for me, because I'm curious to know what he'll think of what the doctor wrote. And then those quotes, man, let's see. Just the difficulties that people have in their marriage with intimacy. It's just sad, you know, to read those quotes. But it's not hopeless, you know, it's not hopeless at all. The divine design section definitely made me blush. I was like, where are we going with all this? And I have to say, you know, of course it makes me praise the Lord for his incredible design, and just the anatomy of the human body is amazing. And I totally agree that the pleasure found in intimacy is a gift from God. It's like a temporary escape from all the burdens of this world, you know? It's like a taste of ecstasy and really, really just checking out fully of this world, all your burdens gone for a moment, you know? And so, or for not a moment, for longer than a moment. And so I totally agree. Sex is such a gift from God. It's such a blessing, and the pleasure found in it is such a blessing from the Lord. I'm so glad he didn't just make it this physical thing you have to do to have kids, but there's so much more to it. And that is joyful and wonderful, and we should enjoy it and love it. And I think, you know, it's saying here, like, to sexually fulfill our husbands. I agree, but I think that a piece of that puzzle is not just to be physically present, but it's to be mentally present. They know when we're into it and when we're not. And so they're fulfilled when we are happy and excited about being together, not just physically being there present. Mentally and emotionally is a big part of that. And then the world, how it's perverted sex. It's so funny because even the most perverted garbage that you see and hear about, it's like at the bottom of the list of amazingness when you compare it to biblical married sex. Biblical married sex, and there actually have been studies on this. Christian women in godly marriages are the most sexually fulfilled women in the United States. There are studies on this because there's absolutely no guilt. There's nothing to worry about. You know you're in God's will, and you are in a monogamous relationship that is founded with love and the love of Christ, and you are seeking to enjoy and please each other. How can anything ever compete with that? Nothing can. So I think that's funny. I don't remember where I read that, but I remember reading that several years ago. And it makes total sense to me because there's nothing more profound and wonderful than a Christian marriage and then the sex in a Christian marriage. So out of all of the design stuff that she wrote, of all the anatomy, the only thing that made me go was that the clitoris is 9 inches long. I was like, what? Shocked. I did not know that. I've read this before, but I guess I forgot that detail because that was shocking. I would have guessed 9 inches. Good grief. So anyway, I definitely was blushing at the end of that, but I'm so thankful to the Lord for his beautiful design. Hey! And it's obvious that it's not a mistake. What is it? Are you scared? Come here. And then just the quote at the end, if you ever talk to an atheist and ask him to prove the existence of God, sex, one word, that's funny. And then just the last 3 quotes, I wish my wife would initiate sexual intimacy. We should take wisdom from these quotes, initiate sexual intimacy. That might be something your husband wishes. I wish my wife understood better about me, the need to be more sexual. I wish she would be more creative and enthusiastic. Be more enthusiastic, be more creative. Desire your husband. I don't know about you, but when there's too much time gone by, I don't feel united. I don't feel close. And that might have something to do with my love language. Come here. But I don't know. Like, there's something so much more profound than just physical when it comes to being with our husbands. It is a spiritual thing. And I feel like when we come together, we feel closer, emotionally, more secure, more in love. It's a beautiful gift from God, and we need to not only fulfill our husbands with it, but find fulfillment in it ourselves, right? I'm not sure what the chapters ahead hold for us about this topic. I can't remember what this book, I hope that it talks about the woman's pleasure, because that's one thing I feel like most marriage books focus on, the man's need for sex and the man's need for this, and the man. We should be loving it too, you guys. We should be feeling absolutely amazing too. So it's something to long for and to desire, because you know the pleasure that awaits you, right? And I know that there's a lot of people that have had trouble succeeding in climaxing as women, but I read this book called Intended for Pleasure by Wheat. I can't remember the first name, something Wheat, and he has a whole chapter about that. And I mean, he says it in there, and I totally agree. I think that women just get so caught up in their brain, they don't let go mentally to just experience physically the delight of what's happening. And if you've got the body parts, you are capable of climaxing. So if you are one of those women, I would suggest that book, and just that you read up on that topic and do as much research as you can on that, because you're not hopeless. I'm excited about the chapters ahead.